All right, everybody, welcome back. Well, uh, we have a bit of a marathon to get through today. Um, I wasn't really planning on doing like really long videos, but I've gotten some requests to go through some of this stuff at a bit of a longer length. So I am going to I've already sort of taken out the sections, found the sections that I want to talk about. The other stuff I'm going to skip through it because it's just when it gets, like I said, to the repetitive stuff where, oh, well, the fantasy sequences and things that just really there's nothing to dive into and repeating philosophies that we've heard many times. I just don't want to go through that again, sit through it. There's things that I'm definitely more interested in than others, and that would be the focus on her interactions with her men in her life, people coming and going, what she's doing for housing, kind of diving more into that. So this is going to be our first section here. This is from about maybe 4 days ago. I think this is the Real Housewife of Cleveland has been providing us with Daisy content. Um, so I've got about 9 minutes here of a section that I'm going to go through, and then we're going to skip and go to another one and then another one because there's some interesting stuff in here, some new things that come up that we haven't seen before. Yeah, I got a lot to actually catch up on because almost every day now there's video. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get way behind. Also, another thing that interests me a lot is not in this video, but coming up is what happened to the Brucer superhero guy. Bruce, I guess would be his name. Haven't heard from him in quite a while. Wondering, is he still around? What's going on with him? Oh, there are some developments with him. And that's the kind of stuff I want to dive into. Well, anyway, we're going to get going with this. Make sure volume, this is as good as I can get, sort of, for doing this in the most efficient way for me. I know the voices are maybe a little bit kind of not clear, but we know. We kind of know what's going on. We know the deal. Here we go. That's right. I like that you're having purpose when you go places. I like your idea of having purpose of going to the beach. Yeah, that's sort of, I mean, isn't every human sort of like, okay, I'm going to go to the beach because, I want to hang out. I want to, go get some coffee or, some water or Starbucks. I mean, that's sort of a general thing I would say is for people just to have purpose in doing just about anything, I suppose, having a cigarette or, anyway. Um, I guess it's the idea that there's some big thing that's going to happen once she gets to the beach. Like this is, there's really going to be a huge. Anyway, let's move on. I like that. So it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all of us. Okay, we're gonna say we did it ourselves. So I'm gonna create the Healing Arts Dojo, and the Healing Arts Dojo is gonna be like Alcoholics Anonymous. You're gonna say we did it ourselves. We got sober, right? And then the Healing Arts Dojo, we're gonna say we did it ourselves. We're healing ourselves. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna teach a 3-hour class, and it's gonna start with like really slow seated meditation, restorative, and then it's gonna slowly go up into a peak. And the room is okay. These glitches that you see, this is not anything. This is just the original recording. The sputtering of cell phone streaming. But her voice is continuing on, so we'll just wait until the video picks up again. So this is an idea that she has been fielding for, like, gosh, as long as I have been watching her, which is over a year and a half now. Wow. This Healing Arts Dojo is her tent. It's what's printed on the front of that little thing, that little flimsy thingy that she sits in all day at the beach, or was sitting in. The thing is, she'll get maybe 2 or 3 kind of people that hang around out there to come, and she'll step on them and everything. But nothing ever materializes. Nothing consistent, solid, reputable. Nothing solidifies. And one of the most entertaining things I saw was her and John trying to put together their website for the a call to love LA, and they're on the phone with whoever these people. Remember that video? On the phone talking to these people. They're not investors, but they were like helping get this website together because there's nothing substantial. The thing with Daisy, she's always talking about what she wants to do, what will happen, possibly happen. She wants to have happen. Nothing solid has ever been laid down. There's nothing. It's always about gatherings and calling people together. And nobody, there's not that many people that show up, and maybe they'll show up once or twice and you never see them again.
It's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter, and we're going to sweat it out, and there will be an ice bath. So people can go jump in the ice bath with apple cider vinegar and essential oils and baking soda and all different healing herbs or whatever. And that would be, with the apple cider vinegar, like that shit kills everything. So we can totally feel comfortable, confident, and co-creative in making this space and being able to trust it.
There has to be some sort of structure, a foundation to this idea that she's saying, where generally this is in financed. And she's talking about stuff you got to buy these supplies and a tub with ice water and all these things you're going to throw in there. There should probably be a covered building, something that will make people feel comfortable that they can come, and then they can come again next week, and it's structured, and somebody is there's a leader that they're organizer they're confident in. But she talks about this stuff, but nothing ever happens, and the stuff costs money. So if she's again, well, here it is. She's against working to earn money. I guess there'll be some guy that'll help pay for it, I imagine.
People will be jumping in an ice bath, which is so good for the nervous system to go from super hot and stretching into ice cold, and it's gonna be so good. So I'm gonna do this every morning for 3 hours, and I'm gonna commit to that. Teaching in Venice Beach with the unhoused, and then when I leave, I'm gonna basically pack everything up.
She's gonna do all this stuff, ice baths and all these things you got to add to the water, apple cider vinegar for the unhoused. There's, as I mentioned in that last video, the unhoused, the population down in Venice that live down there by the bathrooms and everything, they're very, erratic in their personalities. And the reason why they are out there living like that is because they cannot function in a structured way. Coming to these classes, and she says she's going to put everything away or take it away. Well, what are you talking about? A big bathtub? I mean, how are you going to get that back, and where are you going to put it at night? Think this stuff through.
And then I'm going to go to the skate park, and I'm going to go do my aerial yoga, and I'm going to practice my pole dancing, and I'm going to do my freestyle rapping.
This is probably the funniest part of the whole video is, she's seriously outlining her day, and practicing freestyle rapping is right in there. Like if you had a Google Calendar, write it in as one of the things you're going to do for the day. Freestyle rapping.
Creative groups that if people want to come and co-create in those spaces, I am not a master in these areas, so I can't.
What spaces are you talking about? Also, speaking of the freestyle rapping, there was again a video that's long gone, unfortunately, where there's these guys that were rapping down on the boardwalk, with microphones and everything and speakers, and she kind of decides to join them, and she sucks. It's cringy beyond. It's embarrassing, actually, and they were kind of irritated with her because she's right next to them, trying to join in. It sounds terrible, and they're like, "Come on, man, back off. This is our time for the freestyle rapping." It just, she didn't like being shut down like that either. That was a problem. She had to find her own place to do her freestyle rapping.
But let the masters stand up, and I will follow them too. And let me be my master, and I will master you. And you will be my grasshopper, and I will grasshopper you, my little kitty sweet. You're so cute. Get over here right now.
Let me be my master, and I will master you.
Let me be your
Okay.
Okay, and would you please let me be your grasshopper? Please be my master. Goddess, I know you could teach me the ways of the gardens and the lagoons and the animals. I could teach you all that stuff. You could teach me how to do yoga and meditate. We could just transfer that to each other. I love it. I love it too.
Okay.
I like where you are. I like that you're not at Starbucks. I like seeing a different outlook to you.
It is a different place. That is true.
Well, I have a girlfriend who wants to make it the clan here. And she also wants to be part of the healing circle. And there's all these women who are sugar babies who are coming to me to be healed. Oh, that's good. They need to be healed by you. That would be helpful for them. And I'm going to teach them how to be a goddess instead of a sugar baby. Because I could coach them to be a sugar baby, but who wants to be a sugar baby? Don't be a sugar baby.
Well, wasn't it just back in June when Daisy took advantage of Sweet Jeff too, and told him that she would pay him back for a $34,000 loan, 19% interest. This is the deal they made. Um, so she could get her butt and hip implants. And then she took off like immediately. As soon as the surgery was over, she was like at somebody, Amelia, she was like living with somebody else. And Jeff suddenly turned abusive, like just on a dime. The guy changed after the check cleared, of course, and she got what she wanted. And then she proceeded to start flaunting and, again, the pictures in the mirror of her, bandages and everything. So if you're going to heal former, basically like, prostitutes, sugar babies, everything is about money. The payment is in a lot of money. If you're going to be the healer, why did you just do that like 6 months ago? Why did you take advantage of a guy for over $30,000 for body modification? Not even base survival, but a vanity surgery. What do you have to offer people that are looking for genuine healing? I really hope they don't, start following her around. But generally, I've noticed that people in real life will kind of come and go with her. I don't know that she has a lot of people that really stick. If they're female, guys will. She has internet friends, but I don't know about like, in real life. But that would not be a good idea to have her teaching people to move away from taking advantage of men monetarily when she still does it. What are you talking about, man?
You goddess. Because if you're goddess, you're co-worshipping. And co-worshipping, you're an empowered master, sharing your gifts, finding your meaning and purpose, gathering your soul tribe to be interdependent with, no longer codependent. I could tell you how to be a sugar baby. Just go to New York. I was telling her, I was like, just set up a profile in New York City. You want to get in New York City, be a woman, sugar daddy, because you want to get like the billionaires. You don't really want to mess with the millionaires, and the going rate in New York City is 8 to 12,000, and LA it's a lot lower. Look, 222. So I was like, coaching, and then I was like, I thought myself, I was like, look, I'm also an expert in being a goddess. I was like, I would rather teach you about co-worshipping and get you out of the market economy because.
Okay, now hold on a minute. She wants to get sugar babies out of the market economy. Okay, so if you're using a guy to just give you money, exchange for sex, you're getting a lot of money. Is that market economy, or is that moving out of market economy and you're doing something different? Because I think later in this video, she's kind of saying, well, you got to rely on men. It's men that'll give you the, the support and the money that you need. So I guess what is she telling them? This doesn't make sense. Well, I mean, I guess her idea is don't go and like, get a job and, kind of making a semblance of a normal life. If you are independent and you are working and you're bringing in your own paycheck, that's not good. I don't understand what her, well, I guess the whole idea is more of like a communistic utopia where we just co-regulate. Co-regulation is more communistic, where we all kind of just help one another, but that is not how communism actually panned out. Government controlled everything. You were just a drone for the government. You were forced to co-regulate. I don't quite understand what her economic plan is here to help former prostitutes find their way when she is sitting in a homeless shelter.
In a world that emerges in lavish abundance, we would never sell ourselves. We would never give our time to these disgusting men. Why don't we come together and find our meaning and purpose? And I will show you how to be a goddess. You will never have to be a sellout again, which is working. And I will
A
show you the way
sellout.
to walk the path with me. This
Sellout.
girl's battling anorexia. So I told her, and I'm only saying girl. I'm not going to give any other information. So I'm just saying one random girl because there's a lot of girls I'm working with. So
she's working with. Like, is she a counselor now? Because when she showed us or explained her calendar of the day where she's going to go the area of yoga and her freestyle rapping, she didn't say, well, I've got some appointments with some former prostitutes, and one of them has got eating issues, and we're going to sit down for an hour. I'm going to talk to her. That was not scheduled in. She's got the whole day laid out, just like doing shit at the beach, screwing off at the beach. When do these appointments come in? I don't know what her idea of working, just the word work. Daisy doesn't know what work is. She hates work. So does that mean that they just come up to her at the beach and they talk for maybe 15, 20 minutes and then they leave? What is that? What's the schedule here?
Just to keep her autonomy, right? So maybe there's another girl or boy, I'm just being that vague, who is battling anorexia. I'm signing into a full. Do you know that I could live in this place? It's a mental health facility. I could live there for the next 20 years if I want.
She completely changed the conversation here, where she went from, she's explaining how she's helping people with, eating disorders and stuff, to like, hey, I'm at a homeless shelter. About face, got to keep up with it.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's good to know, right? Good to have that backbone.
I'm going to do like a year because we could do some work. I noticed when I started talking about my grandpa, I think that's where a lot of my trauma stems from them.
Okay, this is the core and why this stream is worth talking about. I just mentioned on that last one I did that her grandfather is where this all stemmed from. That's in my opinion. Everything I say is just, look, man, it's my opinion. It's all subject to change. She's saying she thinks it might be. Well, it absolutely is, because according to her, that he abused her for, from when she was a toddler, a little kid, toddler, for fuck's sake, into her teenage years. Yeah, so I had also asked, or I wondered whether she had ever confronted him, and it was unlikely in my mind that had ever happened. So, but she's this right here. I'm surprised that she's had a lot of therapy and counseling. It sounds like this should have been a given at this point in her life. She should have known, where are the people digging in for her, because that is core. I think I already mentioned as well that in fact, I named the previous video, she's punishing all the men in her life for what her grandfather did. And who else? Who knows what other men? We don't know. There could have been, friends of his, or maybe as she, moved into teenage, into 20s or whatever, there may have been other people taking advantage of her. We don't know. But I am absolutely sure that has created all the feelings of kind of rage, helplessness, the anger, a sense of revenge, why she went into the brutal dominatrix, the punishing, beating on the men, hitting them, continues to use that behavior, unfortunately, towards people and animals. She is aware of it, and her children. She lost her children. Many events that happened because of that. This is the core. This is what has shaped Daisy in so many ways right here. And I wish somebody could help her explore that and really sharpen it into focus for her better.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would make sense, Days.
You want to hear something beautiful?
Yes.
So I always call Bruce, Super BrucerHero, or Pops. And lately I've just been calling him Dad. And he basically, we were in the car and all he did was like pat my knee, right? He just pat my knee real quick, like it was nothing. And I go, hey, that triggers my trauma a little. I like physical touch, but in order for me to really trust, I need the guys to just give me a pat on the shoulder. I was like, a pat on the back, a pat on the shoulder, that's it. I was like, this whole space, I am good. Like, you don't need to be touching anywhere else on my body. And he was like patting me on the back. Like, and because this was like a couple days ago. So he was like patting me on the back today. It made me feel so good. It makes me want to cry talking about it because
He heard you.
But it makes me want to cry because my little girl, like, if I had said that to my grandfather, not only would he not have honored me, he would have made fun of me, belittled me, told me not to tell him, and then put his hand up my shirt and touched my boob.
Yeah, this is horrible. It's absolutely horrible what she went through. It's angering, actually, listening to this. Bruce, that's the older man that we've seen that she hangs around with. I think he's given her rides to the court, and he's been in Starbucks when she's been in there, and she says that you're my adopted dad, which this is where this is a mixture of things, because this is sad. She never really had a father, and she didn't have any men protecting her, standing up for her when she was growing up. In fact, it was quite the opposite. They were using and abusing her. And Bruce, apparently he put his hand on her knee. I don't know what, for what reason, because it seems like he has been more of a dad figure, and she didn't like it. But he did, pat her on the shoulder instead to kind of acknowledge, okay, I'm sorry. I won't do that again. This is the way you want to be touched, or whatever. So, but this is going to come up in a stream. I don't know, one or two streams later, there's more of a story about him. And this is where I have to question other things. I'm not going to get into that right now, but this is just kind of an introduction to the Bruce is back, and there's some problems going on with that situation. Let me see where I'm at with the timing. Okay, I got about a minute more on this particular section here.
Because in my family, that kind of stuff happened. And that is what I want to heal, because sometimes like guys will come over to me and I'll be like, get away. And I'm literally, it's a fear response, But think of how that feels to be the guy and to always hear like, get away.
Well, that is interesting, because she dresses in a way that is very provocative. And I wanted to kind of save all this stuff for another stream as it kind of unfolds, but I guess this whole thing kind of overlaps. But I mean, she dresses in a way, and she's got the vanity surgery in a way that is really going to emphasize her, female assets, so to speak. And of course, nobody is inviting problems. That's not what I'm saying, like, the way women are dressed or whatever. But men do respond to visual stimulation, and that you've got to be aware of that. And this is the thing. Okay, she's got some real and genuine problems when it comes to intimacy, sex, relating to men. All the way she was raised in such an inappropriate way. She dresses in a way that is going to draw men in. Okay, good, bad, or indifferent. That is just what's happening. So a man sees her, and his immediate message is, "Come here, come here. I'm open, and take a look at me. Here I am." She makes a big statement with herself. Okay, I mean she's all the plunging, the cleavage, everything is she gets away with everything outside of actually exposing herself, and then sometimes she does lift her top at the beach, and she likes to you know which also is part of I think stems. It's all part comes from the same thing as the over sexualized, and it's weird. I mean, cutting the jeans and making everything very look at me. And if she has got a lot of fear, understandably, about being approached, touched. Guys may want to come in for a hug or whatever, and she is very huggy. There's all this thing where it's a very a little bit of a borderline-ish thing where it's, I hate you, don't leave me. There's a lot of that, the anger, but no, 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 I need you. Go away, come back. Where are you? Lots of mixed messages with her. How she acts, how she dresses, and then this rejection of when people are maybe trying to get to know her a little better, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of contradiction here in how she presents herself and what's going on inside.
Okay, you're welcome in my space.
What's going on inside?
What's this called? Oh, right. You've told me you've been there before. I like it too. I like the background. It's cute.
Yeah. I decided I'm gonna turn a newbie.
You cut out. I'm sorry. What?
I decided I'm gonna turn rules. I'm gonna do things like technically we're allowed to be topless and that. So things like that I'm gonna do.
She's gonna
But
take
if I'm
her.
asked to put my shirt on or whatever, I'm gonna do it.
So she goes from well, this is a conversation between these two people here, but she doesn't want people. There's the fear factor. Don't come in and try to touch me or whatever. And then a minute later, she says, "Well, I'm just going to take my top off in public."
I arrange something big, like maybe I get everyone body painted, and I have the body paint. I want to start organizing events and being really serious. So the 3 hours in the morning, I am going to be a master. Let's
Okay.
be a master. So let's be.
Okay, I think we already went over all the stuff about her plan during the day. So I am going to move to the next section.
Well,
my sister laughed so hard because I got Botox this one time, and I thought that's what was going to happen to my face. So I told her I was going to do. I was like, look, my sister's name is Princess Danalala.
Okay, we're going to enter a section here where we're going to meet her sister in depth, I guess, according to Daisy. And it looks like she runs, I guess, with a partner, a food kitchen, like a ghost kitchen. If you are an entrepreneur and you need a place to cook your food, store it, prepare it, they've got like a facility for that, which is kind of cool. Sounds like she's done pretty well for herself, which Daisy probably hates. Well, she goes in depth, kind of. She does this combination of kind of mocking and admiring at the same time. And they also have food truck space, so she's got it's like a food, set up for people, small businesses that are making their own food, selling it. So we're gonna meet her apparently.
If I cannot smile, I will say smile. Okay, I'm gonna practice. Smile. She was like,
God.
She was like, oh, it's so funny. We used to have so much fun. I miss my sister.
Oh, I don't have a sister. I'm an only child. When's the last time you talked to her?
Well, she lives in an ice castle next to the ocean in Memphis.
Oh.
She controls the thunder, and she is a cloud. If I get near, she will electrocute me.
Oh.
Now, granted, I don't know these people. I don't know her sister. I don't know her temperament. Daisy does not really paint her in a particularly pleasant light here, but because sounds like somehow she may have had something to do with her losing her kid. Well, it's Daisy lost her children, but maybe family members, kind of testified that no, she's not fit to be a mother. So there's going to be resentment. I mean, when we launch into this, Daisy's lost everything. That's also something that we have to take into consideration is she has no family at all that she can regularly visit, talk to. Um, there's restraining orders that probably everybody has put up, including her own sons. She can't get near them. She can't get near her mother. There's always contentiousness. I know her mother does care for her. She does care about her and wants to know how she's doing. But Daisy is basically completely alone in the world, which has got to be terrifying. Um, and there's a lot of unfortunate circumstances that led to that. Um, so I can kind of understand why she'd be kind of catty and kind of goofing on
Let's
her, I
try.
guess.
Yes.
Maybe you can ask her not to use the thunder palette.
I absolutely
She's
will.
really gifted. Truly. Her pictures on the internet, you want to see her? She's really pretty.
I would love to.
Okay, so go on Google right now.
My phone is streaming. I only have one phone.
Okay, no problem. Watch this.
Okay.
I'll show you her picture.
Let me see.
Oh, she's going to put her sister on blast here.
I like that she lives in an ice castle, by the way.
What was that?
I like that she lives in an ice castle, by the way.
Oh yes, it's actually in the ocean, like right by in Manhattan Beach. Yeah, she's amazing. You don't really notice the thunder because her ice castle, it's actually like in the ocean almost.
Yeah, what's kind of that I kind of like about the way Daisy describes things is it's a very graphic, colorful way of painting a picture. And being an artist myself, a professional artist, um, I find some of these images fascinating and kind of charming. I like the idea of the ice castle, but I'm sure she's talking about her personality. I guess according to Daisy, we don't know these people.
It wasn't good enough for her to be oceanfront. It was much better for her to be just in the ocean. Way more exclusive.
Yeah.
And she's a princess.
I could see developing a whole character.
Yeah.
That lives on an ice castle in the ocean.
She's like really high maintenance. You have to put a blanket down if she is getting out of the car. She has to step on something fluffier than her.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, preferably a red carpet.
Really classy, talking about one of your relatives. Yep. Does it really matter? There it is. There's the website I just showed you.
She owns the kitchen terminal. And I will show you her and her business partner, Sanita Tata.
Okay. How many more minutes of this do we have here? No. Just kidding.
Our story. It is our story.
Yeah, hear that voice?
Where'd they go? Oh,
that's her mocking voice that she used. Remember when she had that little Stevie Meanie doll, that little dog, the little beaded dog, the blue one? You would use that voice to kind of like make fun of people, I think. I'm going to say, I think it's a safe bet. I just showed you all that stuff.
Oh, yes. Very pretty.
Oh, they are.
I don't know that she really looks like Daisy. I wonder if they share the same dad or it's a different father.
And Queen Sunita Dakota.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Very pretty.
Sunita is a real live queen of India.
Wow.
You have to ask her which section. It's true. And Princess. There she is. Princess Sanalala.
Oh, yes, I see her.
Princess.
Oh, God.
Princess. Princess Cinderella.
So it's like she's sort of extolling her virtues and making fun of her at the same time. I guess is the idea. Kind of acknowledging that she's
Please see my sister again.
cool,
No.
but okay. And then here she's having this back and forth. She's done this before with the little dog character. Um, she's having a back and forth conversation, a fictional conversation between her and her sister, outlining her frustration with what's going on. Uh, Ostracized. Family doesn't want to talk to her right now.
Work and you sang a musical out front just because I was keeping you away from your kids.
Okay, see, so these are details, of course, that none of us really know 100% about. But it sounds like she got frustrated with her sister and stood outside singing a musical, just like she used to do at the courthouse. So that could probably aggravate people. I don't know that that's the best move.
You know how embarrassing you are, Princess Donna Lala. I am embarrassed. I do know I'm embarrassed. And I care about that. It must be really hard how embarrassing I am. Tell me more about that. Yeah, you're so embarrassing. You just humiliated me. You ruined my life. You broke that review and said that I was stinky. I'm not stinky. I bathe myself every day. And I fluff my hair. You're right. You're not stinky.
God. Wow. Look at that. There's times I feel, well, many times, I feel I've been dropped into a seventh grade, like, lunchroom, and I'm sitting on the bench with, like, extremely immature people. Like, she's 43. What is this? This just. Okay, I guess maybe this might be a time to stop and mention this. Oh, God. Okay, I had a theory. I had a theory that for some people, they mentally stop certain, I don't know, emotional maturity or whatever. They stop, kind of like they're paralyzed, and they don't grow beyond the age when they were molested. Kind of like there's something, I mentioned in my last video that there are like steps that, normal, natural developmental steps that we all go through bit by bit, little by little, as our lives unfold, get more complicated as we grow up, more and more people are introduced. We go through puberty, we get the sudden sense of self-consciousness, and, everything changes. Um, and I think when you've got something like that that's gone on with you, where you've got this wildly inappropriate, adult sexual touch, mocking, laughing, dismissing, grabbing, just taking over of your whole mind and body, an adult that you should trust, who's supposed to guide you and help you through the path that I just described. When all that is shattered, it's warped. It's warped. It's like you hit a wall, stop sign emotionally, I think. Daisy never went through the normal pathway of developing into a healthy adult. And I mean, we know that. It's not. But I'm just thinking about it now. Because I actually did some reading about that, and that it absolutely can happen. Because Daisy is not the only person that I have followed on YouTube. I consider her one of those real life anomalies. One of the ones, the people that you watch. It's not made up. It's not a story. It's nonfiction. It's like a person that uploads, and or you somehow you carry on watching their life as the years go by. And there's another situation with another person uh, where they were molested at an early, or there was a lot of inappropriate things going on at an early age, and this person is very childlike, and it's anyway. It kind of reminded me of that, which is where I kind of thought, well, why does this feel so much like she's like a 13 or 14-year-old? I don't know. It's sad. It's sad.
See that, I'm not laughing.
You know, all of this
You
stuff,
think that you think I'm thinking.
it's based in anger.
I
And
insist on Malala. Look,
some
you're
of
my
it's justified,
sister.
I think. It's
I'm always
justified.
gonna think that you're stinky. I'm
What is
always
this?
gonna laugh when you
46.
fall. And sometimes I know when you get hurt, when you stub your toe, dude, you're my sister. I just can't drown, but I can't. It's just like this little sickness I have. I love you so much. So, no, I hate it. Remember when I fell down and I was carrying all of those lattes, and then I slipped on the snow and you were laughing at me? Okay, Princess Donalala, I can tell that this is important to you, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give you acknowledgement right now. Like, all of a sudden I feel really serious. Like, this is serious. You know, I don't want to be alienated from my kids anymore, Princess Donalala. And honestly, you're pretty powerful. I, dude, I really respect you. Like, you're able to keep me away from my kids. Do you realize that I'm willing to walk through fire and bulldoze shit and get arrested and go to? You realize I'm willing to do anything for you to keep me away from my kids? That, like, you are a queen. You're not just a princess. Like, Princess Gondolella, I really, really, really honor you and your power and your glory and your beauty and your gifts and your good intentions. Even though it feels like you're ripping my heart out, and I miss my kids so much, and I just think of hold my tears all the time and save it for grief hour. Oh, and if I don't have my proper grief hours, I get banned from places. Usually yoga studio.
Okay. So she's angry at the sister for keeping her, helping to keep her away from her kids. Maybe she, I don't know, went to court and testified or whatever. So she's, Daisy's going to be upset about that. But it's not the sister that caused the problems. Daisy caused the problems, which stemmed a lot from, her treatment as a child. So, when we look at this, I wonder, there's a trail. See, abuse and, treating people like this, it has long-term consequences. It affects generations. Something that happened to her in Paraguay way back in the day, probably the early 80s or whatever, with her grandfather, whatever was going on there, it's affecting his grandchildren at this point and will always. I mean, these kids, her children are going to have to live with this and somehow as they become adults, make their way in life having probably a semi relationship with Daisy. What is Daisy going to be like in 10 years? Like when these boys are in their mid 20s, maybe thinking about getting married or whatever. What is Daisy going to be like when she's 53? Is she going to be any different? Things going to be much different. The boys are going to have to, put up some, there's always going to be the fence, the gates, will the gates always be locked? Um, but here's another question I'm going to ask here, just out aloud, is if you've been screwed over by somebody, let's say you've been abused, you've had terrible things happen to you, you're an innocent child, you had, no say, nobody helped you get out of that situation, you were mocked, your feelings were mocked, and then, your body violated because basically you just feel like a nothing. And you grow up and have all kinds of issues, maybe trust issues or hypersexual, I don't know, whatever she is doing here with displaying herself to such an extreme. Where does somebody like Daisy have the responsibility to not abuse others, not to carry it on? Like it's got to stop there. How do you even see that's a really really tricky thing about managing humans is the abused a lot of times are going to go out and abuse other people, and we see her mistreating people very strange ways, which probably resulted from all this. But then how do we hold people accountable for their actions? Or do we have to treat them like children? Still, her kids were taken away from her. She can't be near them, like taking something away from a child. She's She gets upset, flips out, and gets banned from yoga studios. So people are closing. People create fences around themselves, gates, and they gate her off because it's just she's not a healthy person to be around. I could ask, how much responsibility does she have to rectify that? And it sounds like she is self-aware to a point. Um, and what do you expect? What can you expect from people? I guess, life is free form. I suppose we just have to spontaneously build fences when we need to and try to moderate it. That's one of the big problems with the homeless here in LA is that there's no boundaries, no set of. We have very little boundaries here in LA. Maybe that'll change. We do not expect anything out of the homeless, and we don't have expectations for them, and there's no accountability for their actions. So they can set things on fire. They'll put the fires out. Very often, hardly anybody's arrested. So I'm just saying, it's just a thought for me. Is the sense of accountability, and how do you get that from somebody who's kind of out of control, who never learned what that meant?
And I've learned I just gotta heal that shit, right? Princess Danalala. I really feel like it's time that we stop fighting. Wow. Princess Danalala. Yes. You make sense. Look, I'm still a little bit skeptical. Okay. Jennifer, can I trust her? Okay. I'm gonna give you one chance. And that's it. Because you really hurt my feelings. Jennifer, you be my witness.
It's very childlike.
That's
You hurt my
way.
feelings.
Lindsay.
No.
She's a liar. And she's mean. And she caused so much trauma. Just wait. She'll do it to you too. And she has one chance to prove me wrong because she has been nothing but kakalaka to the family. And I'm sick and tired of kakalaka. I want a lala. I want to feel a fala. I don't want a kakalaka.
No kakalaka.
Yeah, you make sense. I have brought a lot of kakalaka to the family.
Yeah, see, she knows. There's these moments where she seems kind of normal, and she's reflecting on, she gets it. She gets it, but then there's this other aspects that get in the way. I'm sorry about the lag. I got to see if this is actually maybe it is my computer doing this. Well, I'll have to try another browser next time. But you can still hear.
You're giving me this opportunity to own my actions in the team.
She's owning the actions.
It was not as enhancing as if I had talked about what I was feeling and needing. And since our last interactions, I've learned a lot about myself, that I have this disorganized attachment style that causes me to attack people I love.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I've been a
that's
liability for a
true.
long time.
Yeah.
And everything you say is true about me. I have been a kakalaka. And I do want to be a falalala. Sick and tired of smearing caca everywhere, right? Who wants that? I would rather go places and go,
oh my God, the singing.
I would much rather be a falala. Look how cute Muncie is. I want to be cute like Muncie. I want to go around and falala. I don't want to be a kakalaka. And a kakalaka, that basically means you're disorganized. Those are people who shit on everything. So it is my work to go. All of that anger and violence can be channeled to love. Get over here, you sister, you.
She's a boot for me. Boot, Danielle.
Stop it! I don't want affection. I have a hard shell of shame and fear around me that you will not penetrate. Oh, yeah? Now I'm crying because the tears can be released without getting this much love. Oh my goodness, I'm too lovable. Yes, you are.
Oh, boy.
Now hold still.
Hey, this
Not
is...
done loving both of you. You're too cute and sweet. Get over here. Be my sister. Be my sister. I demand your lovability.
See, she has moments where she has clarity about what's going on, and then it devolves into this nonsensical kind of a parody, like a mockery of wanting reconciliation. How can you take it seriously with this stuff?
Let's have some rough affection. Come on, let's wrestle it up, Danielle. You think you're so tough? Battle me. Oh, I can't wait to battle my sister. I'll begin with a table torture, followed by a pillow strike.
A pillow strike.
Yeah, that's great. I love that term, pillow strike. I love it. that is funny. That's funny.
Okay.
Comes up with some funny stuff.
Not face, because we don't want to mess up her makeup.
No.
It looks like she has no makeup on. That's her style.
I like that style.
Yeah. She's got good style. She's pretty vivacious and gorgeous like me. And she's really a gifted and talented queen, and I did a lot to hurt her. And my mom too. And recently I felt so soft, like I miss my family.
Yeah, I don't blame her. I mean, she has no family. And, reaching out to people like Bruce to be a father, and then he's like touching her knee. Oh, this is weird. Isn't it weird how history repeats itself? Like, what? Isn't it strange? It's almost like people are magnetically drawn to somebody's problems and then recreating them. Wow, that's something to think about. Maybe I'll think about that today. Dissect that a little bit. All right, so this is going to be the end of this video. Wow, that was a lot to bite through. Also, I apologize. I'm going to go ahead and look at the original video and see if it lagged like this. Maybe I can use a different browser, or maybe it's just the original stream. I don't know. I won't know until I rewind and put this thing together. So thank you, and thanks to the Real Housewife of Cleveland for keeping this going. This is also a question I have, is like, why isn't Daisy doing her own streams? I know they took her phone when she went to jail originally. They are keeping it. One of the provisions of allowing her to go free is that she got to kind of behave herself. She can't get in trouble. And I don't know if they think that keeping her phone is going to solve that, because I don't know what I'm saying is, I don't know why she just hasn't gotten another phone and resumed her streaming, because it sounds like she wants to resume streaming. I don't know. There's a lot of questions here, and that's what this channel is all about. So I hope you liked it, and I will move on to the next one, and we'll talk about that soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.